Governor Perry, Governor Huntsman was not specific about names, but the two of you do have a difference of opinion about climate change. Just recently in New Hampshire, you said that weekly or even daily, scientists are coming forward to question the idea that human activity is behind climate change. Which scientists have you found most credible on this subject?
Well, I do agree that the science is not settled on this. The idea that we would put Americans' economy at jeopardy based on scientific theory that's not settled yet, to me is nonsense. I mean, and I tell somebody, I said, just because you have a group of scientists that have stood up and said, here is the fact, Galileo got outvoted for a spell. But the fact is, to put America's economic future in jeopardy, asking us to cut back in areas that would have monstrous economic impact on this country is not good economics, and I will suggest to you is not necessarily good science. Find out what the science truly is before you start putting the American economy in jeopardy.
Just to follow up quickly, tell us how you've done that. Are there specific scientists or specific theories that you found especially compelling as you've educated yourself?
Let me tell you what I find compelling is what we've done in the state of Texas, using our ability to regulate our clean air. We cleaned up our air in the state of Texas more than any other state in the nation during the decade. Nitrous oxide levels down by 57%. Ozone levels down by 27%. That's the way you need to do it, not by some scientist somewhere saying, here is what we think is happening out there. The fact of the matter is the science is not settled on whether or not the climate change is being impacted by man to the point where we're going to put America's economics in jeopardy.
Governor, Congresswoman Bachmann, a question about energy. Back to that subject for a moment. Were you quoted correctly, and do you stand by it as wanting to drill in the Everglades in Florida?
Well, the question was asked of me about that, and what I said is that we have American energy resources all across this nation, and of course we would do it responsibly. That was my response at the time. And on this issue of human activity as being the cause of climate change, I think it's important to note that the President recognized how devastating the EPA has been in their rulemaking, so much so that the President had to suspend current EPA rules that would have led to the shutting down of potentially 20% of all of America's coal plants. Coal is the source that brings 45% of America's electricity. What we're seeing is that a political agenda is being advanced instead of a scientific agenda, and this is leading to massive numbers of jobs being lost. The President told us he wanted to be like Spain when it came to green job creation, and yet Spain has one of the highest levels of unemployment. The President is bringing that here in the United States, and I think tomorrow night, when the nation tunes into the President, I'm afraid that we won't be seeing permanent solution. I'm afraid what we'll be seeing are temporary gimmicks and more of the same that he's given before.
Time.